What's up, guys? What's up once again? Welcome to HaXan TV. This is Ubuntu Podcast, and I'm your host with the most, the man with the plan, Steven HaXan. And as I always tell anyone who's joining me and anyone who's listening into this wonderful podcast, that is HaXANS for all you beautiful souls out there. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening into Ubuntu Family Podcast. This is the podcast where you get everything spiritual, where you get a little bit of motivation and insight somewhere. You can actually get, some inspiration around your life, basically. I do understand that life gets a little bit fucked up as we move along the way. Now, we are trying our best to deliver topics on a daily basis, so make sure that you have subscribed and you have liked. Make sure that you share with your friends if you find this to be the topics that you actually resonate with. So if you do find any other video that is on my channel that you actually like and will listen to, make sure you go there and actually like and comment and share it with your friends as well. So without further ado, you've already seen the title of the video, you've seen the thumbnail, so I'm sure we are vibrating on the same frequency. Today I want to answer one question that a lot of people might be asking in their heads but have the guts to actually come out and ask me. People tend to ask me, Steve, what's Ubuntu? What does Ubuntu really stand for? What is it about? And today I want to answer that question, hit the nail on the head, and basically give you guys the non-sugar-coated explanation of what Ubuntu is all about. Now, Ubuntu is a philosophy, and it's a philosophy that started in South Africa. So Ubuntu is a South African concept that emphasizes on community, companionship, and interconnectedness. I'll repeat. So it's a South African concept that emphasizes on community, compassion, and interconnectedness. And in this episode, we will dive deeper into the principles of Ubuntu and how they can be applied in our daily lives. So, first and foremost, before we go so far, I'll give you the Google description of what Ubuntu is. Okay, so according to Google, Ubuntu can best be described as an African philosophy that places emphasis on being self through others. That is the quote, being self through others. It is a form of humanism which can be expressed in the phrase, I am because we all are. And Ubuntu, basically, in Zulu, is Zulu language, it's from South Africa. And when they say I am because of who we all are, what they're trying to say is I cannot make myself who I am without having you people in my life. For example, this YouTube channel would not be in existence if I never had listeners, So I am who I am because of you people who make me who I am as well. And this interconnectedness is what we are actually talking about. The phrase in African is usually Ubuntu, Ngumuntu, Gabantu. I'll repeat it. Ubuntu, Ngumuntu, Gabantu. And basically, because Zulu has the clicking sounds, I've not pronounced it the way they do actually pronounce it. And this is just, the Zulu definition of Ubuntu, that I am because of who we all are. So let's go back and actually dig a little bit deeper of the principles of Ubuntu now that we have an idea of what Ubuntu is. And I don't think I've actually expounded very, very well on what Ubuntu is. So I'll give you what Ubuntu is for me in a personal level. Ubuntu to me means that we are all connected in oneness. There's no difference between me and you. There's no difference between any of us. We are all the same being divided into different human experiences. That's what Ubuntu means to me. The Christian philosophy, basically, which says we are small pieces of God. Like God, we make the body of Christ or something of the sort. Like we are small pieces of God, and each of these parts of the body of Christ plays a major role in the whole oneness and in the whole unity of the divine being of God. So basically what Ubuntu means is we have come from God into this earth, and we have different human experiences. Some of us are men, some of us are female, some of us are crippled, some of us are healthy. We have different human experiences. Some of us are rich, some of us are born poor. Different human experiences, but the same being. Everyone goes through their own different experience, but this is the same being going through different experiences. Basically, Ubuntu means unity and oneness in my books. It means that we are all the same. We're all put under one bracket. We just have different human experiences. And because I know that I am you and you are me, then if I hurt you, then I hurt me. And if I hurt me, then I'm hurting you. If I love myself, then I'm loving you. And if I love you, then I'm loving myself. And that's what Ubuntu means. And Ubuntu shows you the aspect of I should not harm my neighbor, because if I harm this other human experience, I'm only harming myself in a different human experience, because we are one. And this is what Jesus tried to show people, and they called him blasphemous. Jesus said bluntly that I am one. I and the Father are one. You cannot separate me from the Father. That's what Jesus said, right? I and the Father are one. You cannot separate me from the Father. And that is actually true. You cannot separate the Creator from the creation. The Creator and the creation are one. If you separate the Creator from the creation, then the creation is useless, or the creation ceases to exist. You understand what I mean? So Ubuntu basically means all of us have come from one place, and all of us are going to one place. All of us have one particular destination, one particular goal, but with that destination that we are going to, there's a lot of different journeys and different ways of going through that going towards that destination. Each and every one of us has a different journey. Each and every one of us has a different experience. Each and every one of us has a different way to navigate life. But then we have to understand that we are the same person with different human experiences. And this helps you as a human being to actually grow and develop and realize that you need each and every one of us to actually be the results that we want to see. If you want to see a bright future, if you want to see an amazing future for ourselves, for our children, for the human race basically, then it means that Ubuntu has to exist. And what does Ubuntu mean? It means I am because we are. And basically it means that all of us have to come under one bracket, come back together in unity, and realize that we should stop fighting against each other. And you see, that's what the system tries to do. The system tries to divide us and make us, think that we are so different from each other. They try to divide us through religion. They try to divide us through politics. They try to divide us through tribes, if you're from Africa. They try to divide us. Now they're even dividing us in gender. Can you see this? We are being even divided in gender. We have now transgenders. We have homosexuals. Now we have even men and women. The basic genders, men and women, are not even getting along nowadays. Men and women are not getting along. It's hard to find a household that is stable nowadays, and it's sad that we have actually come to this point in our life. But Ubuntu basically brings that philosophy back, that African philosophy that we need to come back to with each other and unite. What the system tries to do basically is divide and conquer. The more they divide us, is the more they can conquer and control us. But Ubuntu brings that sense of interconnectedness, of community, of unity, of coming back to oneness and coming to each other to solve problems and find solutions and build a community that resonates with our human values and morals. And that's what Ubuntu is, realizing that I am because we are, regardless of the race, regardless of the tribe, regardless of the pigment of your skin, regardless of who you're having sex with, we are all one people having different experiences, having different life experiences. Let's talk about Ubuntu principles, all right? Let's talk about Ubuntu principles and what they're about. So first and foremost, the principle of Ubuntu, the first principle of Ubuntu is the belief that every person has inherent worth and dignity. I'm going to repeat this. The first principle of Ubuntu is the belief that every person has inherent worth and dignity. This means that regardless of your background, accomplishments, or social status, we all have something valuable to contribute to the society. This principle emphasizes the importance of recognizing and respecting the humanity in each individual. Yeah? Now, let me explain this. According to my understanding, regardless of where you come from, regardless if you're born in a poor family or in a rich family, regardless if you're born in a black family or a white family, regardless if you're born in a transgender home or in a straight home, all of you need to have an inherent worth and dignity within yourself. Regardless of your background, regardless of your accomplishments, and regardless of your social status, you have to understand that you and everyone around you has something of value within yourself that needs to be contributed back into the society. Regardless of your life situation, regardless of where you are, how you are, what you do when you're doing it, you have something that you need to input back into the society. And if you don't do it, it's your fault. Don't point fingers, don't blame anyone. It's your fault. Now that you have listened to Ubuntu Podcast and now you're getting to understand, it's your fault. Some people will say, I'm poor, so I cannot do blah, blah, blah. I cannot do this and that. I cannot do this and that. That's an excuse. I want you to look at the life of Jesus Christ. Before Jesus Christ went ahead to start preaching to millions and millions of people, first and foremost, he started helping his father in the carpentry work. You digging what I'm saying? Before Moses could go out and rescue all those Israelites, first and foremost, he had to go take care of Jethro's sheep. There is something you can do for the society and the community within and around you that can make you better. You understand? That not only can make you better, but can make the people around you better. Now, some of you usually have this delusion in your head that you have to change the world. And it's something that I also used to have in my head. I used to think that I will be the person to change the world and to make it a better place. You know, I used to thought I would be Sadhguru 2.0 or Sadhguru, 100 Pro Max. That's the person I used to think I would be. But no, you don't have. You can use what you have and give value as well. So I decided, you know what? Let me start a podcast. Let me start with what I have. Let me start small. Let me start a podcast. And every time I have a podcast, I have 20 to 23 people here listening to my shit. Those are 20 to 23 people who I'm helping to grow, to understand life in a different way. And I'm proud of you people, and I'm proud of myself as well. Every time I see those views, I'm actually happy. 20 to 23 people listen to what I say. I know I usually talk very, very long. Some of you actually listen to the whole podcast. Some of you don't get to the end of the podcast, but then still you get value. And you see, what I do is I'm giving value to you people, and that is Ubuntu. You have to contribute something to the society in accordance to your means, in accordance to where you are at that particular moment. You need to be that person who is giving back to your society. Now, I wouldn't expect a child to be able to build, houses for the poor or feed the poor. I don't expect a child to do that, but I expect a child to do the house chores. You understand what I'm saying when I say give back to the community within your means? A child cannot build houses for the poor, but at least he can wash the fucking dishes. You know what I mean? So live within your means, regardless of your background, regardless of your accomplishments or your social status. There's always something you can give back to the community. Now you think you're poor, now you cannot. No, there's always something you can give back. Some of you might not have the money, but you might have love and compassion in your heart. You might not have the money to help your family, but you have the love and the compassion in your heart. Let me give you an example with my family. In my family, we have the family called the Kongesa dynasty. I love this family. I usually just observe it from afar. And what the Kongesa dynasty does at times, when it gets to the situations like, let's say, one of our family members is dead and we have to do a fundraising for them and a harambe for them, to get some money for them. What the Kongesa dynasty will do is the people who are capable to send money, they send the money. The people who are overseas, the people who are already working good jobs, who have that ability to actually spend the money, they send the money. But there's some of those other people who are not that well off and they cannot send money for the fundraising. So what do these people do? They still contribute to the society and to their family in their own means. You'll find that now the people who could not contribute funds or money to the funeral, those will be the people who will go and help setting up the funeral place. Those are the people who will go help cook the food for the guests. Those are the people who will go and raise the tents of where those are the people who will go and dig the grave that the guy is getting the person is going to get buried in. So these people are still helping their community, they're still helping their family, but in accordance to their own means. So regardless of your background, your accomplishment, your social status, you still have something that you're giving back and you're contributing to the society. Always make sure you're not that person who there's nothing else you're giving to the society. You're just taking. Don't be that person who takes. Try to be that giver, someone who gives. Give something. Always give something back to the community. It might be so small, like just helping that old woman cross the road, or helping that kid cross the road when he or she is going to school in the morning. It might be so small, but will make a lot of Ubuntu for you. Because Ubuntu is not only a philosophy, Ubuntu is a way of life. Ubuntu is a levity. Ubuntu is a blessing. Ubuntu is knowledge. Ubuntu is power. Ubuntu is everything, because Ubuntu is oneness. On to the second principle, the principle of interconnectedness. I already talked about this, but we're going to expound on it a little bit. So, we are all dependent on each other, and our actions can have a ripple effect on the person or the people around us. Do you guys agree with that statement? That we are all dependent on each other and that our actions can have a ripple effect on the people who are around us? If you do agree with that answer, make sure you go to the comment down below and actually give me a response on what you think. Ubuntu teaches us that our well-being is tied to the well-being of others, and we should always strive to act in ways that benefit the community as a whole. Perfect example, not even far-fetched. I won't even go outside. Right here in Kenya, right now as I speak, we're having a very, very big political problem with Ruto and Raila. The people who will be watching this video in the future, at this particular time in Kenya, we are having a very, very weird political issue where Raila is trying to overthrow Ruto. Ruto is not budging, and it's causing a lot of commotion even in our daily lives. Now, Raila is telling his political supporters, that every Monday and every Thursday they have to go out on the streets and protest, and each and every time that these people go outside and protest, our lives have to change. So you find a group of 1,000 or 10,000 people, they go out to protest in a country which is filled with is it 46 million people right now, or is it 64? I don't know. We're around 40 million people. Let's just say we're around 40 million people. So in a country of 40 million people, we have a lot of 10,000 people who usually who will go on the roads and protest. All right? And while they're protesting, they are obviously, damaging property here and there. Now, these people who are protesting, they're only 10,000, but they are going to affect the lives of 40 million other Kenyans. That means on every Monday and Thursday, if you had a business to open, you cannot open it. If you had school to attend, you cannot go to school. If you had anything that you wanted to do on that particular day, you cannot do it, because 10,000 people have now dictated the life of 40 million people. Now, this is the catch. This is the catch. It's not even these 10,000 people that I'm worried about. It is this one person who is guiding these 10,000 protesters. The life of Raila has dictated the life of these 10,000 people, and the life of these 10,000 people has in turn dictated the life of the whole country. And because now it has dictated the life of the whole country, meaning our economy will go down. And if our economy goes down, our relationship with other countries will be affected. Do you see what I'm talking about? One person, one political leader has caused a whole change for over 40 million people. One leader. Every choice you make, dear brother, every choice you make, dear sister, affects your neighbor. Everything that you do affects someone next to you. I want you to put that in your head. Whether you know it or you don't. Whether you know it or you don't. It is because of one person called Jesus Christ that we have all these Christian followers. Whatever you do affects everyone. It may not look as big as Raila or Jesus Christ, but everything you do affects someone's life at a personal level. We should always strive to act in ways that benefit the community as a whole, is what Ubuntu talks about. Ubuntu is a positive philosophy. We do not deal with negativity. It's a positive philosophy. Of course, yes, we cannot ignore the negative points of view, but we try our best to cultivate the positive parts of the philosophy. You have to understand that we are interconnected. I am because you are. My actions today will cause a repercussion for someone else tomorrow, without me knowing or everything. Eddie Griffin says, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every cause, there's a consequence. For every cause, there's an effect. And we're all interconnected in that effect. Because you remember what Ubuntu is? Ubuntu is one soul, different life experiences. So you can imagine, every life experience of this soul affects the whole soul as one. Like, the life experience of your neighbor will cause, a ripple effect to every other life experience that surrounds your neighbor. So we should always strive to make sure that we act in ways that will benefit not only ourselves but our neighbors. And remember what I said earlier, and I love this song by Elaine. If I love you like I love me, and if I treat you like I treat me, oh, what a world this would be. So if you treat your neighbor positively, and not only if you're treating your neighbor, if you treat yourself positively, it will have an interconnected ripple effect with everyone else who is consciously or unconsciously connected to you. Because some people are connected to you consciously and some people are connected to you unconsciously. Alright? That's the second principle of Ubuntu, interconnectedness, that we are one. One and the same people, different life experiences. Number 3, the third principle of Ubuntu is sharing and generosity. Sharing and generosity. Ubuntu encourages us to share our resources and knowledge with others, recognizing that we all have something to give and something to receive. All right? The principle emphasizes that the importance of giving back to the community and working together is key to achieving a shared or common goal. Sharing and generosity. All right? We don't want to share our resources with each other. Everyone is trying to grab a piece of the cake for themselves. So we are all greedy. All we want to do is, grab a piece for yourself and put it for yourself. We do not want to share our own knowledge with other people. We do not want to share our resources with other people. We do not want to share our time or our effort. Even we don't even want to share our energy with other people. We are so self-centered, and that's the thing with today's social programming. It has made us self-centered. We care so much about ourselves that we have now forgotten the unity of other people, the interconnectedness of Ubuntu. And that's the whole idea of the system. What the system tries to do is, I already talked about dividing and conquer. So it divides you, it conquers you, and then it tries to give you this mentality of separation, that you are different from that person, you are different from that person, you are not like this person, so you have you are a different being from any other person. It separates you, and it gives you this self-centered belief that, obviously gives you a false sense of entitlement, so to speak. You have to recognize the interconnectedness. Share not only your time, but share your energy, share your knowledge, your wisdom, your truth with other people very openly. Like when you see me coming here and talking, I'm sharing my pieces of knowledge, the things that I've gotten. And that's how the universe works. The universe says, give and you shall receive. Be the giver and you shall be the receiver. So the more I'm giving you guys this knowledge, is the more that I'm going to receive more knowledge. Do you get what I'm talking about? Now, the more that I'm giving you knowledge, the more that I'm adding into the knowledge of the interconnectedness of Ubuntu. The more I give knowledge to you people, is the more I increase the knowledge of Ubuntu. Because remember, every time you listen to me, I'm causing a ripple effect in your life and in any other person who will be around you. You understand? So you listen to me and you'll be a different person, and that will affect how you work in your workplace, how you work in school, how you are at home. It will affect everything. So you have to have that aspect of, being generous with what you have. Being open with what you have, giving it out freely with love, with no strings attached. Some of you usually give, with a string attached. I love the Muslim community. The Muslim community usually preach that you should give with your right hand and your left hand should not even know that you're giving. Like, you should give in so much secrecy, but in so much humility, that it's not something that you're actually bragging about. It should be more of an opportunity than it is a responsibility. If you get what I'm saying, you need to start sharing your knowledge. I'll give you a personal story. Yeah. So there was a time I really wanted money. I really did not have money for sure. I don't know why this didn't work out. Probably God had his own reasons. But like the thing was, I really didn't have money and I wanted money. So I bumped onto a friend who was actually making good money. And he was making money doing content writing. He was a writer. And I really, really knew that I have good English. I'm a guy who knows how to write essays. And like it's not a big task to me. All I needed to know, I needed someone to teach me the ropes, to actually show me how to do content writing, to actually gain money from it. Bro, I waited. He kept giving me promises like, I'll teach you, don't worry. I still waited. It's because some people tend to become jealous. Some people tend to become over-competitive and self-centered. They think that, if I give this person a bit of my knowledge, what happens if he starts earning so much money than me? That's a self-centered, egoistic type of mind, A person in competition with other people doesn't know Ubuntu. Because a person who knows Ubuntu understands that if I succeed, we succeed. You understand? So if I help my brother succeed, that means I have succeeded as well, and we all succeed. And if my brother helps me succeed, then we have all succeeded as well. But this competition, this animalistic competition, this competition, what it does, it brings division. I had to go and learn by myself how to make my own money. I had to go and, do the hard way to learn how to do these things by myself. And many, many other people do not want to pass knowledge and information to the next generation in fear that they will be better than them. I mean, it's just mind-blowing when you actually think of it. You should be able to help a brother out lovingly, with no strings attached, wanting nothing from them. You help them from the bottom of your heart, wanting nothing in return, doing it for the sake of, for the sake of love. So, how can we apply these principles that I've taught you in our daily lives? Well, in the workplace, Ubuntu encourages cooperation and collaboration instead of competition. And I just talked about this. Even in school, Ubuntu encourages cooperation and collaboration. If you find someone who's better than you, don't compete with that person. Collaborate with that person. Let him teach you more. Add on to it. By working together towards a shared and common goal, we can achieve better outcomes while fostering a sense of community and belonging. One aspect of Ubuntu that I will show you today, a clear, good example of Ubuntu, is the Black Lives Matter movement. Those people had Ubuntu. They had a common goal. They came together regardless of gender, regardless of what. Even white people, white and Asian people came into it. Regardless of your profession, regardless of anything, everyone came together for one common cause: Black Lives Matter. Of course, apart from the racists. But either way, these people who came together in unity, in unison, in oneness, in Ubuntu, were able to accomplish something very, very amazing in the world today. They didn't compete against each other, they worked with each other. And nowadays we have such a beautiful, beautiful environment. It, of course, it's still not optimal, but it's better than it was because of this Black Lives Matter movement. In our personal lives, Ubuntu teaches us to prioritize the well-being of our loved ones and recognize that our actions can affect those around us. By putting aside our personal interests and working towards a greater good for the community, we can create a more compassionate and just society. Yeah. Stop being so fucking self-centered. Stop being so egocentric. Stop being about yourself. And it used to be something. It used to be a challenge that I had. I was so selfish. It was all about me. It was everything about me. And you can't live like that, bro. You cannot live like that. If it was all about you, then God would have only created He would have created a separate earth for you. He would have created a separate earth just for you. If indeed you are the only person who matters, He would have created one separate earth just for you. But no, you are here with the rest of us. So you have to come to terms with interconnectedness. Sadhguru once said that, if you're looking for good employees to work with, you better go to heaven, and you better go to heaven right now. Because only in heaven will you find good people to work with. Here on earth, you'll find people with different human experiences, with different social statuses, with different life experiences as well. And they will come with their own challenges, and they will come with their own baggage, and so on and so forth. But you have to learn how to collaborate with them. You have to learn how to prioritize their well-being, meaning you're prioritizing their mental health, you're prioritizing their physical health, their financial health, their spiritual health, you are prioritizing their well-being. If they're okay, I'm okay. Because if I'm okay, they're okay. I am because we are, and we are because I am. That is the whole Ubuntu life, the whole Ubuntu livity. If I hurt you, then I hurt myself. If I love you, then I love myself. So you have to put aside all our personal interests, and we have to work towards the greater good of our community. In a world that often emphasizes individualism and self-interest, Ubuntu offers a refreshing perspective that emphasizes community and interconnectedness. It reminds us that we are not alone, and that our actions have real consequences for those around us. So that's another thing that I want to talk about. We are not alone. You are not alone. You might sit there listening to this podcast thinking that people don't understand you. People don't get what you're going through. But that's not the case. Bro, you're not alone. Trust me, whatever problem you're going through, there are probably 1,000 more people who have gone through the same problem as you and can help you. If you just stop being alone and come to Ubuntu, have that interconnectedness. Be a family. And by family, I'm not saying blood relation, I'm saying loyalty relation. They say blood makes you related, loyalty makes you family. And with that, in conclusion, the Ubuntu philosophy is a powerful concept that has the potential to transform the way we live and interact with each other. By embracing the principle of worth and dignity, interconnectedness and sharing, we can create a more compassionate and just society for me and for you. And that's why I integrated the name Ubuntu in my name. Steven HaXan Ubuntu. Because that's who I am. I'm Ubuntu. I am oneness. I am a divine soul of oneness. I am me because you are you, and you are you because I am me. I am because we are, bro. Once you get that concept, unity will be so easy for you. Loving people would be so easy for you. Being open and being truthful with who you are would be so easy for you, because you come to actually realize everyone is the same, just different life experiences. Some born rich, some born poor, but then still same person, different life experiences. We are all Ubuntu. We are all Ubuntu. So thank you for listening to my podcast. This is Ubuntu Podcast Has a Nation TV. Thank you for listening in. It's your host with the most, Steven HaXan's Ubuntu. Yeah? Steven HaXan's Ubuntu. Thank you very much for listening, and I know you have learned something new today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our next segment that I know you will love. Something that will uplift you, something that will make you see life in a whole different perspective. And just as a bonus, before we finish this thing up, make sure you actually join our WhatsApp group. I'll create a link where you can join our WhatsApp group for anyone who actually listens. You can join the Ubuntu WhatsApp group. This WhatsApp group will basically be a place where you'll meet like-minded people, discuss topics regarding spirituality, self-improvement, motivation, inspiration, and so on and so forth. You'll also discuss any other topics that you really want to learn about. Give me ideas on what you like me to actually research and come here and talk about. If you have any problem, any advice that you like, you can hit me up on the group or even on my inbox. My number is usually everywhere in these platforms, so it's easy for you to reach me. You can always be in contact, because I am because you are. I am just because you are. I need you as much as you need me, and we need each other. So I really hope you have enjoyed that segment. Thank you very much for listening in. I'm your host, Steven HaXan Ubuntu. See you in the next one. Deuces.